Have you ever checked your blood sugar after eating and wondered, how did it get so high? Maybe you thought bowl of cereal, a slice of toast, a glass of orange juice, or even a large serving of oatmeal. But an hour or two later, your blood sugar was climbing, your energy was crashing, and you suddenly felt hungry again. Here is something many people are never told. It is not only the amount of sugar you eat that affects your blood glucose. The type of carbohydrate, the portion, and especially what you eat with that carbohydrate can completely change how your body responds. Certain foods contain protein, fiber, or healthy fats that can slow digestion and reduce how quickly glucose enters your bloodstream. This means that the right meal may help prevent a dangerous spike beginning with your very next plate. But before we continue, there is something extremely important you need to understand. No vegetable, fruit, seed, tea, or homemade drink can safely replace insulin or diabetes medication during a serious episode of high blood sugar. If your glucose is extremely high, does not improve with your prescribed treatment, or is accompanied by vomiting, abdominal pain, confusion, unusual sleepiness, difficulty breathing, or moderate to high ketones, seek medical help immediately. These can be warning signs of a medical emergency. EO is about something different. It is about choosing foods that may reduce the blood sugar rise caused by your next meal and help you build better glucose control over time. And make sure you stay until the end, because I will show you 3 complete meal combinations that are simple, affordable, and much better for blood sugar than the typical meals millions of people eat every day. Let us begin with the first and possibly most important food group. Non-starchy vegetables. When you prepare your next meal, look at your plate. How much of it is covered with vegetables? For many people, vegetables occupy only a tiny corner of the plate, while rice, pasta, bread, or potatoes occupy most of it. For better blood sugar control, that proportion needs to change. Non-starchy vegetables include broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, kale, cabbage, zucchini, cucumber, mushrooms, peppers, asparagus, tomatoes, eggplant, lettuce, and green beans. These foods generally provide fiber, water, vitamins, and minerals without delivering the large amount of carbohydrates found in bread, pasta, rice, or potatoes. The diabetes plate method recommends filling approximately half of a 9-inch plate with non-starchy vegetables. 1/4 of the plate is reserved for protein, and the remaining quarter is used for a controlled portion of carbohydrate-containing food. This immediately changes the entire meal. Instead of eating a huge plate of white rice with a few vegetables, you are eating a large volume of vegetables, a satisfying protein, and a smaller portion of carbohydrate. The meal can still be delicious. You can roast broccoli with garlic, saute spinach with olive oil, prepare a colorful salad, grill zucchini, or cook cabbage with herbs and spices. Vegetables do not need to be boring, but be careful with sauces. A healthy salad can quickly become a high-sugar meal when it is covered with sweet dressing. Choose lemon, vinegar, herbs, spices, a moderate amount of olive oil, or a dressing without added sugar. The CDC recommends making non-starchy vegetables a major part of meals, while reducing added sugars and refined grains. Fish, chicken, tofu, and other protein foods. The next powerful food group is protein. Protein foods include eggs, fish, chicken, turkey, tofu, seafood, lean meat, cottage cheese, unsweetened Greek yogurt, and certain plant-based alternatives. Why is protein important? Because eating a carbohydrate by itself may cause blood glucose to rise faster than eating it as part of a balanced meal containing protein, fat, or fiber. Imagine eating 2 slices of white toast with jam and drinking sweetened coffee. That meal contains a large amount of rapidly available carbohydrate, but very little protein or fiber. Now, compare it with 2 eggs, sautéed spinach, 1 slice of whole grain toast, and unsweetened coffee. The second breakfast still contains carbohydrate, but it also provides protein and fiber, which can create a more balanced response. This does not mean you need to eat enormous amounts of meat. A reasonable serving may be enough to complete the meal. You can add boiled eggs to breakfast, grilled chicken to a salad, tuna to vegetables, tofu to a stir-fry, or unsweetened Greek yogurt to a small serving of berries. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, trout, herring, and mackerel also provide omega-3 fats and can be valuable alternatives to highly processed meats. Try to reduce bacon, sausage, fried meats, and heavily processed products. These foods may contain large amounts of saturated fat, sodium, preservatives, and calories. The goal is not simply to eliminate sugar. The goal is to create a meal that supports your blood sugar, heart, weight, and overall health. Beans, chickpeas, and lentils. The third food group may surprise you because it contains carbohydrates. Beans, lentils, chickpeas, and dried peas are not carbohydrate-free foods. However, they also provide plant-based protein and fiber. That combination can make them a useful part of a balanced meal when portions are controlled. You might add lentils to a vegetable soup, chickpeas to a salad, or black beans to a plate containing grilled chicken and vegetables. A common mistake is treating beans as though they have no effect on blood sugar. They still need to be included in your total carbohydrate portion, especially when you are also eating rice, bread, tortillas, pasta, or potatoes. For example, a huge plate containing rice, beans, bread, and potatoes may deliver far more carbohydrate than your body can comfortably manage, even though some of those foods are nutritious. Portion and combination matter. Try using beans or lentils as your main carbohydrate source instead of adding them on top of several other carbohydrate foods. They are affordable, filling, versatile, and easy to prepare in larger quantities. When using canned beans, drain and rinse them to remove some of the added sodium. The American Diabetes Association describes beans and legumes as sources of both fiber and plant protein while reminding people that they still contain carbohydrates. And seeds, the fourth group includes almonds, walnuts, pistachios, peanuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds. A small portion of nuts or seeds provides healthy fats, fiber, and some protein. This can make them useful for improving meals and snacks. However, portion size is essential. Nuts are nutritious, but they are also concentrated in calories. Eating directly from a large bag can turn a small snack into several servings without you realizing it. Place a small portion in a bowl rather than carrying the entire container to the sofa. You can add chia or ground flaxseed to unsweetened yogurt. Sprinkle pumpkin seeds over a salad. Eat a small apple with peanut butter instead of eating the apple with crackers and juice. Choose products without sugar coatings, caramel, honey, or excessive salt. Peanut butter should ideally contain peanuts as the primary ingredient and little or no added sugar. Be especially careful with granola bars marketed as healthy. Some contain syrups, chocolate, sweetened dried fruit, and enough refined carbohydrate to behave more like dessert. Read the nutrition label instead of trusting the front of the package. Whole fruit, especially berries. Many people with diabetes become afraid of all fruit, but fruit does not need to disappear completely from your diet. The key is choosing whole fruit, controlling the portion, and understanding that fruit contains carbohydrates. Whole berries, apples, pears, peaches, oranges, and kiwi contain fiber and require chewing. Fruit juice is different. When you drink a large glass of juice, you may consume the sugar from several pieces of fruit very quickly, without the same amount of fiber, and without feeling full. That is why juice can raise blood sugar faster than eating the whole fruit. Consider pairing a controlled portion of fruit with protein or healthy fat. Try berries with unsweetened Greek yogurt, apple slices with peanut butter, or a small pear with a few walnuts. Avoid fruit packed in syrup and be cautious with dried fruit. Because the water has been removed, dried fruit is highly concentrated and very easy to overeat. A small handful can contain the carbohydrate equivalent of a much larger serving of fresh fruit. Whole fruit is generally a better choice than juice, and pairing carbohydrate-containing foods with protein, fat, or fiber can slow how quickly blood sugar rises and other high-fiber whole grains. The sixth group includes minimally processed oats, barley, quinoa, and other whole grains. These foods still contain carbohydrates, which means they can raise blood sugar. The advantage is that they often provide more fiber and nutrients than refined options such as sugary cereal, white bread, white rice, and pastries. But a whole grain label does not give you permission to ignore the portion. A huge bowl of oatmeal covered with brown sugar, honey, sweetened dried fruit, and maple syrup can still produce a significant glucose rise. Try a smaller serving of plain oats, combined with chia seeds, cinnamon, a few berries, and a source of protein such as eggs or unsweetened Greek yogurt. Avoid instant oatmeal packets containing added sugar. Also, be careful with breakfast cereals that display words such as natural, fit, energy, or heart healthy. Turn the package around. Check the serving size, total carbohydrates, fiber, and added sugars. Sometimes the serving shown on the label is much smaller than the portion people actually pour into their bowl. Avocado and other healthy fat sources. Avocado contains fiber and primarily unsaturated fat. It can add flavor and satisfaction to a meal without the refined carbohydrates found in many sauces and spreads. You can add avocado to eggs, salads, chicken, tuna, or a controlled portion of whole grain toast. Olives, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and oily fish are other sources of unsaturated fats. But once again, more is not always better. Healthy fats still contain calories, so use them as part of a balanced meal rather than adding unlimited amounts. The most useful role of fat is not to magically remove sugar from your bloodstream. Its role is to help create a satisfying meal and slow the digestion of carbohydrate-containing foods. This is why balance is more powerful than searching for one miracle ingredient. Water, an unsweetened drinks technically. Water is not a food, but it deserves a place on this list. One of the fastest improvements you can make is to stop drinking your carbohydrates. Regular soda, sweet tea, energy drinks, sports drinks, sweetened coffee, and large glasses of juice can deliver substantial amounts of sugar without reducing hunger. Some coffee drinks contain syrups, whipped cream, caramel, sweetened milk, and more sugar than a dessert. Choose water. Sparkling water without sugar, unsweetened tea, or coffee without sugary additions. Do not assume that coconut water, vitamin drinks, or organic juice are automatically safe for blood sugar. Natural sugar can still raise glucose. Replacing a sweetened beverage with water does not require a complicated diet plan, expensive supplement, or special recipe. It is a change you can make today. NIDDK recommends drinks with little or no added sugar and advises limiting sweetened beverages such as soda, juice, flavored coffee, and sports drinks. Blood sugar-friendly meal combinations. Now let us put everything together. The first combination is for breakfast. Prepare 2 eggs with spinach, mushrooms, and peppers. Add a small portion of berries or 1 controlled serving of whole grain toast. Choose water, unsweetened tea, or coffee without sugar. Compare this with sweetened cereal, juice, and toast with jam. The balanced breakfast provides vegetables, protein, and a controlled amount of carbohydrate instead of stacking several rapidly digested carbohydrate foods together. The second combination is for lunch. Fill half of your plate with salad, broccoli, green beans, cabbage, or other non-starchy vegetables. Fill 1/4 with grilled chicken, fish, eggs, tofu, or another lean protein. Fill the final 1/4 with lentils, beans, quinoa, brown rice, or another carbohydrate food. Drink water. You do not need to eliminate every carbohydrate. You need to control its place on the plate. The third combination is for dinner. Prepare baked salmon, roasted cauliflower, and sautéed vegetables. Add a small serving of beans, lentils, or whole grain if it fits your individual meal plan. For flavor, use lemon, garlic, herbs, spices, or a modest amount of olive oil. This dinner is satisfying without depending on a huge serving of pasta, bread, or potatoes. The most common mistake, the greatest mistake, is focusing on one supposedly magical food while ignoring the rest of the meal. Someone may add chia seeds to breakfast, but continue drinking sweetened coffee. Another person may eat avocado, but place it on several slices of refined bread. Someone else may drink cinnamon tea after eating a huge portion of pasta and dessert. One ingredient cannot cancel an unbalanced meal. Your overall pattern matters more. The amount you eat matters. The beverages you choose matter. Your medication, physical activity, sleep, stress levels, and other health conditions also matter. There is no single perfect eating plan for everyone with diabetes. People taking insulin or medicines such as sulfonylureas may be at risk of low blood sugar if they suddenly skip meals, drastically reduce carbohydrates, or change their physical activity without professional guidance. Never stop or adjust diabetes medication based only on a video. Work with your doctor, registered dietitian, or diabetes educator to create a plan that matches your medication, glucose readings, kidney function, lifestyle, and personal needs. Message: you do not need an exotic fruit, an expensive powder, or a secret detox drink to begin improving your meals. Start with a simple plate. Half non-starchy vegetables, 1/4 protein, 1/4 quality carbohydrate. Choose whole fruit instead of juice. Combine carbohydrates with protein, fiber, or healthy fat. Replace sweetened drinks with water. Control portions and monitor your blood sugar according to the plan recommended by your healthcare professional. These decisions will not magically cure diabetes overnight, but they can change the glucose impact of your next meal and, when repeated consistently, help build a healthier routine. Now I want to hear from you. Which meal is the most difficult for your blood sugar? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, or nighttime snacks? Write your answer in the comments. Your experience may help someone else who is facing the same struggle. And if this information was helpful, subscribe to Healthy Fruits and activate the notification bell. Here, we explain nutrition in a clear and practical way so you can make smarter decisions for your health every day. Share this video with a friend or family member who is worried about high blood sugar, because sometimes one simple change on the plate can be the beginning of a completely different future.